Okay, guys. Today we are going to discuss about control flow activities, and so far, like now, we have seen like how to declare variable, how we have to use that variable, and apart from that, so what are the data types which we are going to use mostly we have discussed, and we have discussed few examples about data table. So that is very much important when we are working with real-time environment. So how we are going to store huge data into the data table, how we are going to do, I mean to say that how we are going to push data into data table. There are two ways to push data into data table. The one is, array. The second option is data row. Data row concept that we have seen yesterday. So along with this, I think we have seen one more important topic called arguments. So we have seen so arguments, how we have to flow the data between the workflow. So along with this, we have seen the directions. What are the directions are available UA path. So we have seen three directions: in, out, and in out. For in, out, and in out. So along with this, so these are one more basic concepts about so any language. So data types, variable, arguments, and flow, control flow. The control flow normally, right? So you have to control on your workflow. Like you just want to print 1 to 100 numbers. I just want to print 100. So let's say example, you are scraping data from from web page which contain right where to say that you have 20 rows in a grid, a table. So make sure that I want to retrieve 1 to 20 rows alone. So there you should have some control on the workflow, right? You have to control on your scrapping mechanism. So make sure that if you want to control on any on the workflow, so make sure we have to follow control flow activities to control the workflow or control the functionalities or control what I'm trying to say actions on the scrapping mechanisms or pushing mechanisms, whatever it is. So basically, when I talk about control flow, a proper control flow can be achieved through the variables and certain activities. So make sure that variables are important concepts like how we are going to declare the variables, how we are going to insert the variables. If you declare the variables, obviously you have to define what is the data type it is. So these activities can found under workflow, under control flow activities. I'll show you that when we work on some examples on it. The first and foremost activity is called, the control flow activity is called assign activity. So what exactly assign activity does? So basically, this is one of the global type of global activity. So I think we have seen plenty of examples so far. So basically, if you do any program right where we want to initialize or if you want to assign some value to a variable or if you want to do any calculations operations, any mathematical operations, right? Any arithmetic operations, that everything we have seen and the assign activity is very important where we are going to do some initialization concept or any calculations. So these are the operations if you want to do to make sure that assign activity is used to execute this type of operations. If you want to store right one result content into another result content, let's say example, we have a data table. So we will see and discuss about like a linky concepts where we are going to see how we are going to copy one data table information into another type of another table, and how I'm going to push one table to another table. So if you want any cloning something, right, so we can do it by using pair table, link operations that we will see in upcoming sessions. If you want to do this type of operations also, make sure that I just want to use as an activity to assign to this type of operations. The next important thing is the delay activity. So delay is one of the beautiful activity in UiPath. So what happens is the delay activity enables you to pause the workflow. I mean to say that I want to give some pause to my robot to wait for a 10 seconds or 5 seconds or a moment of time. So based on the specified time in a particular format. So I just where exactly in real time we are using this delay activity is, let's say example, you were expecting some control to be loaded on the web page. So normally, right, when you work with the load operations, page loading concept, right? So what will happen there if your internet is good, sometimes your page is going to be quickly loaded, or sometimes what will happen, it takes a moment of time to load. So based on bandwidth, based on CPU usage, so your web page may be responding a bit quickly or a bit late. To handle this type of scenarios, to make sure that here the delay concept is going to be used. But delay is also a very dangerous activity. So if you give 10 seconds, right, if I'm trying to find some login control on the web page, so I just given, right, when I click on URL, when I enter URL on the browser, after entered my URL on the browser, and I'm just clicking OK. So when you click on OK, what will happen, right? It is redirected to the login page. By the time, right, so it is going to be moment of time. So by the time, so what I'm expecting, right? So such a way I have to instruct to my robot saying that, so robot, you just wait for until this guy is loaded. So we don't know, right, when the guy is going to load it. Like I mean to say that that button is going to be visible maybe after a few 2 seconds or within a second or within a 5 seconds. So in this case, right, so delay is may or may not be used. But if you give delay, what will happen if I give 10 seconds to particular load, it is going to, even though the page is got loaded, but delay, sorry, I mean to say that even the within a, let's say example, I'll put in this way. You have given delay for 10 seconds. Okay. So the button is loaded, I mean the page is loaded within 5 seconds, even though the robot still asks for more until or unless the specified time to match. So pretty much simple, right? So, but when you're using delay, right, that make sure that we have to be very pretty much careful on this. So for this one, right, so you people have to write a smart weight concept. The smart weight is nothing but what? So I just want to loop these operations, whether I'm keep on checking, right, that the element is loaded or not, element is loaded or not. That we have to check. No, after in every 1 minute or no something, sorry, every 1 second, if we could check this type of operations. So make sure that so we are going to. I don't want load. The page is, I mean, the button is loaded. Then I have to do some operation, or else I have to keep on hit that page again, and I'm going to check that button is load. I mean button is loaded or not. So let's look at UiPath Studio and see on small examples about this. We're going to create control flow. Can we find it? I'm going to create this here. So delay then here I'm displaying, right. Let's get started. I'm just going to bring delay. So delay under we can find here workflow. Under workflow we have control flow. Under control we have delay. So in the delay, right. So let us see this. The format is significant. Um, let's save and let's run this. This format is basically hours, minutes, and seconds. See, still my robot is on pause mode like no, it is we have given like a wait, but before printing this, right? I mean workflow ended. I just hold 10 seconds time. If you could see here, right? The workflow started, workflow ended, and see here I have just given now for execution of that one, it will take 1 minute. Apart from that, I just given my robot to wait for 10 seconds. So normally, right, so what will happen even though the page is loaded or not, irrespective of that one, so given some time, right, it's going to wait for that time, it is going to wait by the time. If this page is loaded or if you are finding some element is found, if this element is found, then what will happen? Still it is going to wait. After 10 seconds, if the element is not found, so what will happen is going to error, it is going to throw an exception to the user. This is how your delay is going to work. So next is very important thing is if activity. I think you might have pretty much know about this, right? So if is not one of the conditional control statement, conditional statement. So basically, when it works with if activity, it is going to we are going to take the condition like either true or false. So let us shift to the path and we will see one demo about how we are going to use if statement. Demo. Okay, now I'm going to demonstrate. So let's check how the given number is even number or not. So for this one, right, let us go ahead with sequence. Okay, and first of all, I'm going to declare one variable to store the whatever reading value. I'm just going to push into that. So let's let's navigate to the variable panel. Here I'm just checking int number. This is going to be the type. Fine. So what is the first step? I just want to read the data from the user. How we are going to read? So input dialog, we have input dialog. So here I'm just going to push here. So what is the title? Check even or. So here, so enter. Fine. So whatever I'm reading value from the user, I want to push it into some variable, right? So I have just a variable for int number. Now I have here this. After read this, so directly I'm just going to check if condition. So if there's an activity here. So what is the logic of the event, right? Int number mod 2 equals to 0. The given number is mod 2 and finally you will get 0 remainder, then you can say that it is a what I'm trying to say. So it is going, we can say the even number. So print this. Here, right, you can push sequence on the top of sequence if you want to do multiple operations in the if or then else, right? So if you want to add a sequence, you can add sequence here if you want to do multiple operations into that. How we are going to see this? Here we can push sequence and we can right line here like even here even number is even. So this is how normally if condition is going to work when a backend of if condition. So basically where this one text box contains the condition operation. Here, so basically, we are going to check what is the condition here. If the condition is true, then it's going to mean then part. Else, so we are going to here. Here, that basically when we talk about if and if else, right? So we have only if else if or I'm trying to say if activity alone. If you want to do any nested if operation, so make sure that inside if drag and drop one more if, that's all. That if condition is if I'm just setting this, again I want to do some check condition there. So basically drag and drop here. So see here I cannot able to drag and drop here because by default you can able to allow only single activity into that. If you want to push more activity into that, so basically drag and drop this sequence into that. So on top of it, you can handle all the operations. Now if you want to check if condition again, right? So basically drag and drop here. So check the condition. So such a way so you can keep on go ahead with this operations. If else, if else, if else, you want to take multiple check conditions, right? You have to go in this way. So just quickly run this application, how it is going to work. Save this and run it. So it is going to enter number. See, this is my title. So this is my label. Then just giving number 5. Just click OK. See the output. Okay, one number is odd. If you want to rerun and check the no positive scenario as well, so let us check this. I'm just going to insert one. Click OK. See the output. Yep, the given output is, the program is executing perfectly. So before moving to that, right, so next thing, the same program, how we are going to do with the flowchart. So let's quickly see this also. So what is the first step? So input dialog, right? Input dialog, drag and drop here. So after that, so the second next step, to make sure that int I have declared a number, number variable type, then whatever you're reading from the user, right, I'm going to push it into int number variable. So here, so what is the label which we have to give? Enter number. Click OK. Come back to the title. Click URL, right? Or let's click OK. So after that, so it's here very simple, right? Here I don't require any control flow activity. So we have a design activity called set decision. So flow decision, right? I'm going to drag and drop here. So it's pretty much simple this. Okay. Here I want to check the condition. So what is the condition here? A simple int number mod 2 equals to 0. So here we don't have modulus operator, we have to write mod, no? So mod is nothing but is an operator. It will be acting like operator here. So it's showing here I don't have any start node, so make sure that I'm going to put start node here as start node. Then drag and drop here. So what is the next step? So here I just take the condition. So make sure that you require true and false. Ways. There are two ways. We're going to go ahead with the sequence and the decision. So make sure that you have connected with the true and you have connected with the false. Inside that, let us bring some activities into that, like even so just given the event and come back to quickly. And here also I'm just going to print something for service. That's all of my flow chart is ready. Simply I can read, right? And start my operations. I'm reading the information and read the condition. The condition is true, what do I have to do? The condition is false, what I want to do. Quickly save this and run it. Here we go. Input dialog box. I'm just entering 4. Just click OK. Here we go. We got even operations. Then what I want to do, I just want to check one more condition, like everyone number is odd or not. So here we go. So this is how, right? So my thing is going to work. So any queries in this? I mean, up to this if condition. Then this is very basic stuff that is actually what we need to be able to clear about this. So let's move on to the switch activity. So this is also one of the condition statements. So far we have seen like if and if else conditions. So what will happen, right? If you go and see, like, if you want to check 100 conditions, like, what basically if you want to do with if else, right? I mean, if activity you have to write if else, you have to check whether the condition is found, then you have to come back from there. But coming to the switch activity, so no, well, selecting, I mean, to say that, so we have different types of cases, like, okay, I mean, condition 1, condition 2, condition 3, like example, we have different 100 conditions. If the condition, my expression is 100, so my navigation directly is to move on to the 100. Do not go and check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here, a bit faster when compared with these conditions. So basically, right, we select one option out of multiple. That means that so we have different types of cases into the switch, like case 1, case 2, case 3. My expression is 3, then this will directly navigate to the case 3. My expression is 1, which is directly navigate to the case 1. So this activity supports multiple types of arguments or expressions. Like if I want to check like a string case, I can do it. If I want to check for integer cases, I can do it. So if you want to check like array or more complex such as a data table also, data table is so on so on. So I'm going to based on in the case itself I can push my data table. So by default, switch uses integer argument. So basically, right, switch contains case 1 to n. Apart from that, so we have a default case. Just the example, you switch case contain only 5 cases, like integer 5 cases, 1, case 2, case 3, case 4, case 5. But my expression I'm passing is 6, but what will happen? It is going to fetch if 6 is exist or not. If 6 is not exist, obviously what will happen? It is going to execute default case into the switch activity. Let's quickly see one small demo about this. Let's move on to the, I'm just creating sequence switch demo. So here we go. This is basically switch is looking like this. So when talk about this, the properties of the switch. So what is the type of arguments? That means that what is my expression type? So here basically again the basic stuff is going to display here. So by default I just by default right type of argument is integer. So here I'm just passing expression is 5. So this is the default, add the default term. this is like now I'm just going to push some activities here. It's just default one. See here, add new case. Case value 1. So press enter. Obviously what it's going to ask, case 1 activities, like case 1. I'm going to add one more case here, 5, and enter, right line. It's going to case 5, save this. So this is how we have to go ahead with switch. Switch contain different types of cases like case 1, case 2 and so on. Now I just add case 1 and 5. Along with that I just return one default one. If you want to add, just click on the new case and you can use the case number and you have to do, you have to add the activities into that. Quickly save this and run it. What is going to display? The output time, right? So this case 5 is got executed because my expression is what? 5. It is going to 5 is this, so take the 5 and come back directly. What will happen? So this is going to display case 5 information. And coming to the default one, how the default one is going to execute, let's say I'm passing 6 into that. So because 6 case is not present in the switch inside switch, that time it is going to execute the default one. So if you want to change, right, instead of switch, here into the type of argument integer, if you want to push into string, so how you are going to push string? So obviously is going to throw an error, right? Here simply case A, add case A, enter, right line. Leave enter, right line. Here something that's all. So in the default one, right? Again, but this will be our default one. Save this quickly and here we go. Case is going to execute like this. So in this case, right? Save this. So what is the output we are getting here? So here string is a case sensitive. So make sure that when comparing string, so make sure that we have to do like this. Even though, right, you are getting information into, just an example, let's create a string variable. This very important str expression string type. Let's say example A, then double quotes, and here the expression, right? How I'm going to check, and how I'm going to validate this expression dot to upper dot string. So let's say example your case is like this, so which contains spaces function. So what is the trim function does? It is going to remove the spaces, the starting and end of your string. Save this and go back here. Change this one to capital A. Now save this and here we go. So what will happen? Even though my input is small a, I'm just converting into 2 upper. I'm just checking here. So this is how in real time to make sure that when comparing any string or equal any string operations, right, to make sure that conversion is either two upper or two lower. So based on that you can do it. So whenever using trim option, right, we have to very much careful about this. So what is it? Now here, save this. Now I'm trying to run it. So what will happen? Let us see. The output is here. Okay, the expression is taking here the default one. Let's quickly save this and run it again. So basically, right, so when I'm using a trim operations, right, so if any null value passed into that, so obviously this is going to throw an exception. So basically, this is how your switch is going to work. Any queries so far? Okay, let's move on to the so far we have seen like conditional operations, like when how to check condition based on that we are going to take operations to solve. So here the while activity, we have one more activity called while activity. So this is one of the conditional repetitive conditional control statement. That means that I want to do the repeatedly do some operation until unless some condition has to be met. So we'll see one example how the while is going to work. Along with that, we will discuss do while as well. So what is a do while? So you might have pretty much know good about this do while. Right? Do while is also one of the condition control statements, which is going to be excuse me, which is going to be like execute a sequence of steps so repeatedly until some condition has to be satisfied. So when coming to the do while, what is the difference between while and do while here, right? In the while, so basically, initially we are going to say the condition. If the condition fails, I don't want to do any execute. This will not execute the body of the while condition, while loop. If in the respect of the do while, right? First of all, I'm going to execute the operations and I'm going to check the condition. If the condition is failed or not. If condition is true, it is going to repeat the next operation. If condition fails, I quickly come out of this one. There are there are there are some situations like if you want to check the I want to do the operations and I want to check the condition and then go ahead with the dual activity. So basically we are going to use the dual activity while scraping data from the any data table from the Windows application or mainframe applications where we are going to use dual activities. Let's quickly see one example how the dual is or while is going to work. So while demo. So before moving to this while, right, I'm just going to give one exercise you guys have to do to clearly understand this. So create one common component. Okay. So what you have to do, you have to create one common component. So common. So first step is component. So that is called which can do it like no. So if I pass, right? So what I'm trying to say, addition as an expression, right? Which has to perform addition operation. See here, this is a common component, so understand this, how this is going to work. In real time, when I work with so most of the cases we have to work in common operations. If any operations, that means that it is going to repeat in entire application, so make sure that we have to push this one as a common component into utilities, or we can push it into one respective folder like a common. So here we have to create one one common component that can be called a number of places by using invoke workflow file that we have seen yesterday, right? So here, what is the first step you have to do? So in this common component, if I pass addition, it should perform the operation addition. If I pass subtraction, it should be process the subtraction like that. Here in the common component, I'm going to use the switch operation, right? So what is that? So I'm going to use switch operation. Here I'm going to take a string type of expression, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. If I'm getting addition, then I have to perform the addition operation, and I want to give whoever called me, right? So based on its intention, based on its input, that input is, let's say example, is going to pass a and b values to me. Along with that, is going to send expression is called addition. So by the time, what I'm going to do, I'll take a and b values from him, and I will navigate to the addition expression, addition case. Inside that, I'm going to sum of these two values, and finally the sum of two values I'm going to give it to the whoever called me, right? The called person, I'm going to submit to that fellow. You got my what exactly you have to do?
Yes, repeat one more time.
One second, hold on a second. Yeah, tell me, Sridhar. Hello?
It's Kiran. I just
Yes,
requested
sir.
uh, to repeat the question one more time.
No, I think your voice is not clear for me, Charan.
Yes, sorry. I just requested for the to repeat the activity for one more time.
Okay, fine. See, the basically, right, what exactly you have to do in this, assignment. So you have to create one common component. Okay. So in the common component, right, I'm just creating one common component that can be called in any n number of places in your project, right? So in this case, right, so what you have to design this common component. So such a way how to design it. So basically, right, if you want to perform arithmetic operations, so basically we require two variables. One is sum of two numbers. Just an example, if I pass two variables, you have to add the addition of these two, and you want to pass this one output as a so whoever called me, right, I'm going to pass it to him. So somebody is going to call me subtraction expression. I'm going to perform subtraction of the two numbers. I'm going to send that. Subtraction value. Again, I'm going to send it to the respective guy. So such a way you have to design the common component. So what exactly, right? Other second point is here. So called person. The called person is nothing but what is going to invoke this file. Let's say example, you have given one file called um, earth operations demo. So here we are going to call this one here earth operation demo. He is going to pass the values of a. What is the a and a? Let me to say that he is going to pass value a and b. Along with that, what is the expression? Instead, I am going to write in this way. So value 1, so value 2. So that's the example. He is going to pass like this. So what is this? So along with that, he is going to pass one out variable. So what is the out variable? Result. So he is going to pass like this, like 2 comma 3 comma expression is like add, and it's going to pass result like some str result variable. Now you are pretty much clear about the called person, right? Here is going to call this one and this common component. So here what your arithmetic operation will be looking like this. Switch switch off. So what is that expression? So in like no normal, I'm just writing some sheet of code here. Case like an example add. Here you have to perform some operation like return exactly like this. Same thing, right? So if it is multiple operation, subtraction. So if it is a multiplication, right, what you have to do? So that's all. Default also, right? Like I'm not. If you pass an expression like my ABC, you don't have any an expression such a way, right? So like this. So you have to design this switch case. This is called your common component. Today, right? One guess this common component can be called different person. The add person also can be called it. Subtraction function. I mean, person also can be called it. Multiplication person also can be called this one by passing these arguments. One value A, value B, right? And along with this, what is the expression and what is the reason? This is out direction here normally, right? This is out direction variable. Here you are going to assign to this like this. That's how. Normally we're using assign statement. So in the return statement, I mean out variable, I'm going to assign some result to that. Obviously, we are calling into that. In the out variable is going to send the value to the respective. You got the challenge? What exactly you have to do? You got it right now, right?
Yes, sir.
So you try for this. If you're not able to do, I will do this one in tomorrow's session. This is very important. If you do this one, then you will pretty much clear about like how to create a common component and how we are good at arguments as well. Anyone has any queries?
Yeah, Mohan, can you send that exercise over email?
Definitely, I'm going to send this one. So entire group, right? So the same. This is enough, right? If I send this one, is good enough, right?
Yeah.
Okay, definitely. After this meeting, I'm going to send this one to you. Okay. Let's move on to the while. So while is also one of the important activities. So let us discuss one small demo on it. I guess we have created one sequence here. So let's take example. What I want to do, I want to write, what I want to do. I just want to display 1 to 10 numbers. So I just want to, whenever condition is met, when the condition is met, like an extent, so I'm going to stop my operations. For that, how we are going to display? I'm just simply going to pull up like a while activity. Here, right? So what is the condition? Let us declare one variable. Second number of type integer. So here I'm defaultly given 1. Int number is less than 10. Then if it is, see, always you have to give the true condition. If it's true, then it's going inside. Okay. Now, what I want to do, I just want to display the right line called the sequence. I want to put multiple operations on it. So drag and drop the sequence. I just push this one instead of this one. And here I'm displaying, right? String. So along with that, what I want to do, I want to increment this value, right? How I'm going to increment this? Int number equals to int number plus 1. So what is the first condition here? I'm just checking int number by default I have assigned 1. So 1 is less than 10, exactly right. So what it's going to do? So it's going to display first number, and what I'm going to do, int number equals to int, and just checking in. Again, what will happen is going to check int number 2. 2 is less than 10, yes, it's going to display the 10. If you want to display up to 10 numbers, so just let us give equal operations and just execute this. So this is going to keep on execute until or unless this condition is failed. Here we go. It is going to display the values, so 1 to 10 numbers. So basically, when you are going to use while or do while in a real-time environment, I want to scrap the data like I mean series of data from the screen to make sure that we have to go. I'll give you an example. I have one small WPF application which I got downloaded from internet. So where we are going to see how we are going to automate that one. And after this control flow activities, we will see one real-time example. It seems to be like how we are going to extract the data. Uh, I mean to say that how we are going to extract the data from the web page. I mean, not in web page. How we are going to extract the data Windows application. That I'm going to explain in detail. There you come to know like what is the beauty of while or do while. Here, the same condition, right? I mean, the same operation. If you want to display the do while, right? How we are going to do this? And drag and drop the do while here. It just simply and just copy the sequence and push it here. And what is the condition? Here, sorry. Why throwing errors? Because the scope problem here. See, nothing is visible here. If you click on while, right, then only this is going to show that. So what we have to do? We have to display the outer. Then here we go. Response. So just time being, disable this activity and minimize this. So they like this. So I'm just printing a number, incrementing a value, and finally and after printing this value, I'm just checking condition. If condition is true or not. If condition is true, and it's going to be executed. Until unless this condition is to be met. Save this and then again. Here we go. So this is how while or do while is going to be work. So come back here. Then I move on to the coverage activity zone. This is one of the last activity which is going to do here in the control loop. So for each, so basically we have seen for each row yesterday, which is going to deal with database operations. If you want to loop through the data table, so where they have desired desired activity called for each row. Here we have for each activity. So for each activity, it's going to deal with multiple objects. It may be a list object, it may be array object, it may be any type of object, which is going to loop through that one, and which is going to retrieve the data from the particular object and is going to print it. Okay. So what I'm trying to say, if you want to perform even the data table logs, so we can use for each. So for each is nothing but it's one of the can repeatedly. I mean, it's one of the conditional control statements. So basically, what will happen? So until or unless some condition has to be met, I mean to say that if you want to display the elements from one array or one list, to make sure that you have to go ahead with the for each activity. So let us see a small example. This is basic stuff. So that I can just click marking here. So let's create a sequence for each demo. Okay, it's very simple here. Let's declare one array. I just want to loop through the array and I want to print all the values from the array. So here int, how we are declaring array? Int array. Here how we are going to declare array type. Here we have array of t. so which contain like my type of argument t is nothing but, so it is integer, and here array is going to like this. So my array contains series of elements. Now let's flip to the for each. In this one, right? So see this properties of this one. So what is the type of argument? So we have to mention the type of argument, maybe integer or string, or so pretty much careful about this when we're working with this one. So my is integer. Okay. Now I have defined my type of argument, and I'm going to display the item. So what is this item? So here, right, what we have to give. So what is the object? Int array is my object. So here I clearly mention that so my type of argument is type of, it is an array of integer. So save this and then so this showing no exception. If we go to this, we save this and run it. So here we go. So I just declare the object. From the object, I'm declaring the navigating to this. So this is how basically like when working with for each, so we have to do like this. So along with this, we have a break, a break activity. So what is a break activity? So let's say example, from I'm just extracting some data. So suppose that the line number is 5. I want to type that. I want to break that loop. How I want to break that loop? So by using break activity, we can do that. So basically, there's this. I'm just taking one condition here. This condition. So here, right? So I'm checking item equals to item dot. See here how we are going to check here, so item dot equals of, right? So here item here I just want to drag and drop the break. Else just change the volume. Save this and save this one. See here the item equals to 5, then I want to stop, I want to break, or else I want to print the value. And save this and run it. Here we go. This is plane 1 to 4 around. Okay, that's alright because I don't have 3 into that, so this is plane 1 to 4 around. So this is how, so we have to break the condition whenever we have a, when we want it to initially, I mean, so I just want intentionally, if you want to break the condition loop, you have to such a way use the break operations and you can stop the things. Any queries? Guys, hear me?
Yeah, Mohan, I'm good.
Any queries? So what is the concept of tomorrow, right? So when we kickstart with our session tomorrow, so I just want to extract these values. Okay. So and along with this, I want to extract this table. This is one of the Windows application. So by using looping mechanism, how we are going to extract this one, and how we are going to push it into, I mean to say that this one into one data table. That we will see tomorrow after discussion with our basic steps we have still. Or is that? So right tomorrow we'll talk about. So this one we'll talk about. We'll talk about the selectors first of all. Then I'm going to extract the entire table, this information and this information and all this. I mean how we are going to look through here. But this is one of the table. How I am going to navigate this table and how we are going to look through this table. How I am going to read the data from this table, and finally how I am going to push this entire table into my data table. From the data table after that, I'm going to push it into an Excel sheet. So this is what a tomorrow exercise. So we will see that after discussion with this concept. Very very important. So this is where I think we have come to the basics of all this stuff, like how to deal with your what I'm trying to say, the data types, numbers, and arguments. So we have seen all the stuff. So and then we'll move on to the what I'm trying to say, the basics, real time, how we are going to grab the data from the applications.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. Do you have any queries so far? No, if you have any queries, please let us discuss, or else we can go to wind up the session today.
Thank you, Mohan.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. So we'll see. I mean, we'll meet tomorrow.